Hi everyone, I'm Marcie Besecker, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Thank you for joining me this evening. It is Sunday and 5:30 my regular time, not 5 o'clock like it is on bingo night when I remember. So I'm glad I'm here on time, everybody. I'm going to mute my computer so it's not so loud for you. And I'm going to get to my chat. So, hello Deborah, Tammy, Midge, Connie, Betty, how are you? Yes, Betty lives not too far from me, and it is a warm one. It was supposed to be 113, I think, and then this morning I think they reduced it to 112. I don't know how hot it got. I did not go outside, and Betty, I didn't go in my pool because it was too hot, and I was working on some swaps and some birthday cards. So I've been in here all day since early this morning. Let's see, my chat just jumped on me here. Let's see. Hi, Marilee, how are you? Deborah. Hi, Nancy. Oops, I just jumped again. I'm trying to scroll up. Hi, Carrie, how are you? Hi, Marcia. Hi, Roz, Robin, Deb, Linda, Carol, Marion, and Paula. Hello, everybody. So welcome, welcome. I am excited to be here. So, you know, normally I do Christmas in July, and I love doing Christmas in July. Stampin' Up changed their catalogs a little bit this year. A lot of times it's really hard to get started in July for Christmas for some people. For us with Stampin' Up, that's my Christmas in July, and I love it. But Stampin' Up doesn't get a big chance to get their big catalog seen because it comes out in May. And then all of a sudden it's Christmas. And so we hardly get a chance to play with the stuff in the main catalog. So they're trying to change it up a little bit this year and see how that goes. I just saw Linda Dickinson from Modesto. I want to go to Modesto because Donny Osmond's going to be there in August. I'm in Clovis, so I'm not very far from there, so I might have to do that. Let's see, who else is on here? Hi, Michelle, how are you? 105 in Sacramento. That's pretty hot for Sacramento. Hi, Heather. Oh, thanks, Patricia. I've been up in here crafting all morning. Right before my video, I fluffed my hair, put hairspray, and throw lipstick on, so I look like I just got ready, but I didn't. But you know, hairspray, a lot of people say, how does your hair stay? Because my hair is straight. My hair, if I didn't have product in it, this would be my hair right here. Because my hair is straight, straight, straight. So it's all about the product. Let's see, Southern California, Debbie, I bet. It's pretty warm in California. Me too, Carol. So Christmas is so much fun. Aw, thank you, Linda. Hello, Deborah from New South Wales, Australia. Hi, Steph. So I wanted to do something with Christmas, and we don't have a whole lot of Christmas stuff available to us yet. And so I decided what I'm going to do is come up with something. So, of course, we do have our horse and sleigh, and I just didn't feel like playing with that today. Everybody's playing with that right now. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and since I did my DSP the other day, I just love creating DSP, but you've got to find just those right pieces, and so I decided to start that and kind of see what we come up with. So we're going to play with that today, and I did post the products below. I kind of wanted to put those out there last minute, and honestly I was kind of playing around to decide what I was going to use. So now I do have a list, so I'm going to show you some fun items for that. But first, I want to let you know that August Bingo is up and ready for registration. So there is a link below, and you could register for that now. Also, our Hey Chuck class is July 27th. Remember that date. It does not mean you have to be available for the class. That just means you will have your kits and your video and your PDF and everything mailed out to you by then, and should have received your kits by then. So they have not, they're going to be going in the mail this next week, I believe, at the end of the week. And so that's just what that date is. So you will create this at your leisure, and I will have the video and PDF and everything for you for that. So don't miss that. Also, there's a link below for the Truck Along bundle. We have a class coming up for that, and it is, I'm trying to look, I thought I had I have not created a flyer for that yet, but it is in my shop, so you can register for that. That says it's available tomorrow, the 17th. So I would check. I will post on my Facebook page, Marcie Besecker Designs, and I will post if it is available tomorrow. As soon as I notice it's available. I didn't check it right before here because it's Sunday. They probably have not posted it, but it's usually the week of the date they put down. So they have tomorrow's date. So glad not using a horse and sleigh. Yeah, there's a lot of that going, so I wanted to do something different. Smoky, Ohio, huh? There, are you having some fires there, Melody? I don't watch the news. I have to tell you guys, unless my husband tells me, or I see it on Facebook on my business page, I don't watch it. It's too depressing. I'd rather be in here crafting than watching news, right? So we're going to do that. So again, my classes below and my bingo are ready for registration there. So you are, I hope you'll take advantage and go to one of those classes. And bingo, of course, is always a lot of fun. Also, don't forget it's bonus day. So for every $50 order you put in between the 6th and the 31st of July, you will get a $5 coupon. So even those that played bingo with me, you should have received your coupons in the mail, in your email. So make sure you had that. All right, let me see. Yeah, Deborah, I'm not good on watching the news. It's boring. Oh, fires have drifted there. Oh, Canadian fires. Oh, see, I don't listen to the news. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we've had last year, I think it was last year, we had all that smoke up in Yosemite, and it was just really, really bad. Deborah is from Las Vegas. I will be there at the end of August. I'm super excited. So, all right, so let's get started. I did kind of play around with this yesterday and kind of get an idea of what I wanted to use. Finished it up today, and there's a reason I finished it, and we'll get to that because something has to dry. And so let's get started and have some fun. I'm not going to show you a sneak peek because I want to have you see what I did as I was creating and how I came up with it and kind of give you my thoughts. I really kind of wanted to do poinsettias. I love poinsettias. So I decided that this was the one I wanted to use, and that is as far as I had gotten. And then I was like, okay, what else am I going to do? So I actually used, I think, almost every stamp. Let me think. I think almost every stamp except one came from this set, and now all of a sudden I must have put the stamp set back that the other one came from. Give me 1 second because I think I know what it was. Oh, I do. Thank goodness, because it's going to have a missing stamp in it. All right, so this is what I did. I took these stamps out. I took out the dies thinking I was going to use some of these dies. I did not, so I didn't use any of the dies. And remember, this is the Ringed with Nature and Tree Rings. So this is one that was in last year's catalog, so you guys might have it, and it has that embossing folder. I did not use any of this, but I am doing the stamp set. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to bring in, yeah, Marcia, you used like several different stamp sets. She showed me some Christmas DSP that was really pretty too. I think you used like 3 or 4 different stamp sets if I'm remembering. Okay, so I like to have 2 of my foam mats because I'm going to do one large piece of paper. And so I'm going to put this here. This was etched in, so it's kind of bumpy, so I'm just going to move that over a little bit. And the other thing I'm going to use my Nested Essentials. And I'm going to use the Petal Park, and I'm just going to use my little tiny polka dot splatters right here. Okay, so that's what I'm using. All right, so let's just do some stamping first. We're going to use our cherry cobbler. I wanted to use some different reds and some different greens. Let me get my, I like to use my silicone mat so I can put my ink right there. So we're going to get the poinsettia first. And I like to start in the middle. All right, and of course these are polymer, so of course having the mats under is always a good idea. All right. And I want to make sure that I'm kind of turning my poinsettia as I stamp it. I don't want to do them too far away, but I also have a lot of other things I'm going to be adding. So you want to make sure you kind of space them out. Doesn't have to be, ooh, you know what? I am going to grab, I'll grab one of these because we're going to go off the edge, and I want to make sure that I am not stamping on my mat right there. Okay, so just keep turning them. All right, get it where you want it. I'm trying not to get red ink on my hands. Let me grab a baby wipe here. All right, so remember that when you go off, you kind of get your stamp half done. So you really want to make sure that you go back and stamp up. Hi Carol, how are you? All right, so now I'm just going to turn this. Ah, look at what I did. Don't do that. I had ink all over my hands from my project I was doing earlier, and I cleaned them all off, and now look what I did. All right. And then make sure you clean off this too, because it can rock accidentally, or especially when you've got your mats underneath you, you want to make sure that you've got that sponginess. Okay, but you want to make sure that you are turning your stamp. I like to go in the middle and kind of out around the edges at the same time, because the middle is the one that always gets the lightest. Like that's a little light right there. I'm just going to turn this way because I'm right-handed. It's just going to be easier. Okay, so see how over here there's nothing off the edge really, except a little on the edges. So I like to just make sure I kind of make it look like it's a full sheet of paper that this was cut from. This has a little too much space, but that's okay. We're going to fill that in. Let me see. You know what? The lighting is darker, and I don't know. Let me try something here. I know it's exactly the same as it always is, but sometimes I've noticed. I'm going to move my blinds a little bit. Hopefully that helps a little, because my blinds were blocking my window light, so hopefully that helps. All right, so we're just going to keep getting that. I hope that helped. All right, we're just going to do something right there. Oh, see, look, I got red right there, but that's okay. We can fix that. We've got other reds coming in. Okay, I think that is okay. I am going to put one more right there, because I kind of like that the poinsettia is the main focus. So I'm good with that. And we're going to put some other colors in there. So all right, I hope that lighting's better, you guys. I think it was my blinds not all the way open. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Mossy Meadow, and we're going to bring in this little leaf right here. Okay, so Mossy Meadow, and we are going to add our leaf right here, and I'm stamping each time. And then one over here. Okay, those came out really light. I think I stuck it right in the middle where it probably needs more ink, but that's okay. Oh, and look what I did. See, I got green right there, so that's okay. We're gonna fix it. So just kind of go in, and then when you ink up again, put your stem right up next to the other one, and you can even lay them over. It's okay, because you want to just kind of add. And your other leaf, it doesn't have to be directly across. You can put it wherever you want it. All right, so I'm hoping I don't have ink on my hands here. Now, I don't want to put another big one right there because we want to fill up some space. So you want to turn it, and I try not to put too much over the red, so just layer them kind of on top of each other is okay. And then we're going to just go there. And this one, I'm going to go here. And don't worry about these little marks. I like to have it on a bigger block, but it does cause it. I have to be really careful about rocking it. But I want to be able to see exactly where I'm at. So I just have to be careful not to rock it. And I was not paying attention here. All right. So notice that one's over there. This one's over here. This one I'm going to go upward. Okay. And this one I'm going to go here because there's a big opening. I think I'm going to get rid of this now because it's going to stamp fine, I think. And I don't want to stamp off the paper onto my mat. So there we go. So just kind of keep going, you know, to whatever you think. I want to fill this up here. And even if this one if you do not put one there, like you'll see in a second, I'm going to put one over here. So we're going to do one right here. And then you can just put one like right there. So it just looks like it's coming off. And you can just put one right there. You know, it doesn't have to be, I'm going to put two right there. Okay, so it's acting like you just cut it off of a piece of paper. All right, so. All right, we're going to do this one. So see, I covered that green one up right there. So just kind of be looking at which way you're doing your, like this, these both are coming this way, so I don't really want to do it that way. I'm going to do it over here, but you're still going to have one over there. And at first you're thinking, oh man, this is really bare looking, but it won't be once you kind of fill it in here. Oh. There we go. So whatever you're feeling, I just try to get them to all kind of okay, this is kind of a big opening, so I'm going to go this way. And every once in a while, I like to clean it up. Hi, Wendy, how are you? All right. And as long as your stems kind of go over each other, it kind of looks like they're, you know, coming from the same place. So one can be out a little farther. Okay, so see how I just did that one like a little bit? This one I would do here and there. Almost done with the leaves. All right, then this one I think I'm going to put right here. Okay, so there we go. So there's that. I know I'm going against my normal rules of not trying not to dirty this, but just is what it is. Okay, so that's it for the Mossy Meadow. And now I'm going to pull in Old Olive. And the next one we're going to do is this one right here, this leaf. We're going to do these two right here. But we're going to use, instead of Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler, we're going to use Old Olive and Real Red. So this is our other, so see that little green spot right there? We're going to just cover that up. Here's another green spot right here. And I want to kind of make sure I have enough room for the little berries. Okay, so we'll just do right there. Oops. Okay. And then this one is berries. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the berries coming off like this. So let's do this one right here. Okay, so now we're filling in. Okay. And then we'll put the red on, and then we can still add more green and red if we wanted to. We just kind of want to fill in our spots. We want to make sure we have enough space. Oh. Okay. This is green. We're going to go like this. All right, so I'm thinking okay, so we really kind of want to fill it in. There's a red there, so I know I want the cherries, I keep saying cherries, but the berries to go up there. All right, so now we're going to stop this for now. So we'll just set that aside, not cleaning it because we might use it. And now let's bring in our real red. And now we're going to add our berries. Okay, so see, that little red mark's gone. Let's hope this one reaches, but it might not. That's okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit. It almost got it, but that's okay. So see how we're adding the different reds and the different greens. So sometimes what I do when I make DSP is just go through all your stamps. Just go through, see what you have that would go well together. You know, you might not want to use the same leaf or the same flower. Okay, see I covered that red up. You may not want to use the same flower or the same leaf that go together. You might want a smaller leaf or a larger leaf or something. So once you've put your berries on here, it's going to give you a little better idea of where you see holes at. Okay, so when you're doing your green, you want to make sure that you're going to have room for your berries or whatever your second step is. Okay, man, my hand hurts today. I punched out like 90 little leaves. Oh, my hands hurt. I made a bunch of, I finished up some swaps that I was doing, and I also did some birthday cards. And so, whew, my right hand especially is hurting. All right, let's see. Making sure I'm not missing any. All right, now see, I pushed too hard right there in that little piece of red. I pushed way hard on this, and I shouldn't have. All right, let me wipe this off because I'm probably going to need some more. So let's look over here. I'm definitely going to put some right there. All right, and maybe over here. I'm going to do the green. I'm going to do the green right there. And I think that is, no, I'm going to do another one. And I'm going to do a green, because you really kind of want to fill it up. I don't want to add more red right here, so I'm going to do this one this way. So the red can be up here. And on this one, it doesn't really matter, so I'm going to do it angled this way. Because I don't want red here or here, so I'm going to go up that way. And I think I'm going to add another one. I'm going to do it really low right here. Okay, so that's good. All right, let me wipe this off. And my poor fingers. And now I'm going to use the red again, real red, and go back in and finish those up. All right. I'm going to go right here. And you can angle this a little bit. You just have a stem there. So I'm going to angle it a little. So it's going to barely overlap on both, and that's good. All right, here's another one. Hi, Paula. How are you? All right. So, oops. So you notice you want it to go off the paper. I didn't know at this time what size I was going to cut it down to or anything, so you don't have to worry about that, but you do want to make sure that you don't put just a few of your largest item on there, because once you cut these down, you don't want just 2, or you don't know what size we're going to be cutting it down to. So make sure you do put, especially your largest item, a decent amount on there. All right, let me wipe my hands off here. All right, so that's good. Now the next thing we're going to do is, we are not done, and I may put some more on here, and I think I'm going to. But for now, let's leave it like it is, and we'll come back to it. We're also going to, let's take our black, and we have this little center of our poinsettia. And so I'm going to turn this. I like to have it kind of horizontal so I kind of know where I'm going here with this. And the reason is, well, I'll show you in a minute. There's a reason that I'm doing this. You're not going to see it later. So just put all those in the center. Even if it's off the page. Let's see, I don't know if I have any that's off like I'm thinking. Yeah, so this one right here, I would still put just a couple dots so that it just kind of looks like it's still part of your piece there. Now I wouldn't do this one because you can't even see the center of it. See how it's kind of coming together? I always add black, because to me it just makes it pop. And that's not the only black we'll put on there. If you guys have seen me make paper before, you know that's not the only one. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's everything for the little black center, so that's good. Okay, so that's all we need for that black. Now we're gonna put in a different color that you wouldn't expect. And we're gonna go with crumb cake. All right, so crumb cake it is. And we are gonna put in this heart right here. Okay, so we're gonna put the heart in. And again, you wanna make sure you're putting the heart all different directions. And this again is helping you fill up some space. Okay. Instead of turning your paper all over, which you could do, just turn your stamp. And you're going to have other things to fill in, so don't worry about not having enough room. But now you're adding something else in. Nope, I didn't color that one all the way. All right, so now I want to make sure I go off the edge. Okay, I think that's good enough. All right, so now you want to look at it and see that, like, this is a pretty open spot, so I'm going to put another heart. But you want to be careful. You don't want to put too much of something to where it just looks like, oh, now all I see is the heart. So you kind of want to spread it out. But I don't want to add much else into the open spots because there's really not a lot of room to put the larger item. So we're going to do something else. So I think this looks okay. So I have like a part of a heart on each side, so it kind of looks normal, like a regular DSP that has been cut. So that's good. So I think that is all right. Now the next thing is we're going to bring in black again. And we're going to bring in the one that I told you that I got from Petal Park, which is this little guy right here. Okay. Now, if I felt like I needed to add something else, these little leaves right here, you could just do the inside. That would be really cute too. Okay, because that could be something else and we may need to. You could also add another little flower if you wanted, or find something. This one might look like a little more of a holiday kind of flower. You could do that. I wouldn't put the stems though, because there's not a lot of big space open. So let's see what our black dots look like. And we could put larger dots or we could just put more. So let's just go. And what I like to do, I like this one because it's kind of curved. See how it's kind of curved? So you can kind of curve it around stuff. So you want to curve it and kind of put it in the middle. So it's taking up space. You don't put it too close. I'm going to curve right around this little branch. And it doesn't, I mean, you could also, I mean, it could touch stuff. You don't have to worry about, oh no, it's touching this or that. It's all right. Okay, so see, now we're really filling in those spots. And you don't want to push these too hard because they'll smush and then kind of go outwards. And you can really, you know, put as many or as little. That one's kind of light. But it's kind of light, but I'm not going to go over it again because chances are I'm going to mess it up. So just make sure you're pouncing enough on your ink. So just keep filling it in, turn your stamp and your paper, whatever you're comfortable with. Sometimes when you turn your paper, you get a different view and a different angle, and it's kind of nice to do. So you can see, I'm going to come over closer to that one. So just kind of look at it, make sure that, you know, it looks like you've got everything and kind of fill it up kind of as even as you can. It doesn't always, and don't worry, you're going to cut it. So sometimes when you cut it, you're going to also see, oh, I need to add a little here because this quarter of the page didn't get as much. And then that's when you're going to kind of change it up a little bit. So I just kind of sit back and look at it and go, okay, I need more here or there. Okay, and I think that's all I'm going to do for right now. We can always add some later when we cut it up. But I will come over here and just do partial. All right, I think that's good for now. What do you guys think? You know what? It is relaxing, Heather, and it's really relaxing to do because you just sit here and look at it and go, okay, now what do I want to do? I also thought of adding text in the background. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. So once I got to this point, I made the mistake of doing my next step before I cut it. So this time I'm going to cut it first. And I'm going to cut it down. We're going to bring in our craft card because I want it to kind of play off of our crumb cake. Okay, so we're going to bring this in. We're not done with the paper yet, but let's bring this in and our envelope. And you could add some to here if you have enough, or you could stamp on here if you want. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do. So we're not going to do the envelope tonight because I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I may just do another piece to do an envelope, but I want to make probably 4 cards out of this. We'll make one tonight. I'll probably make them the same. All right, so let's cut this to, we need our, we're going to use Old Olive. Let's see. I just had it here cut, so let me find it. What did I do with it? I probably put it away somewhere. Huh. Okay, hold on. I had my Old Olive. Wasn't that funny? All right, well, here's another one. We'll just cut it. I know I cut 2, so that's okay. We are going to cut 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So all I did is measure the card and go down just a tad. All right, we need 2 of those. So again, 3 1/4 and 4 3/4. Marcia, you do, and you know what? If you didn't get to see it at the beginning, this set has, let me find it here, has these dies, and then also an embossing folder, and then these fit in there so you can, let me see if I have some to show you guys. Oh yeah, so see, you can make yourself little wood pieces, and you can put these inside if you want. I think it goes like this, and they fit right inside, and they make like wood. It's really cool. So it's a really neat set. I'm laughing because I just cut these and I don't know what I did with them, but anyway, so I cut those at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut this at, I'm going to do 3 1/8 because I want it to 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. So 4 5/8 is what I'm doing first. Okay, and then 3 1/8 is what I'm going to do next. Okay, so that's going to be the front of my card. And then I still have plenty more to make extras. All right, so this will be the front. We're going to take our Old Olive, okay, and we'll layer that up. This will go on the inside, which is so funny. I just had all of my white. I had everything right here, and it walked away. That's okay. So on the inside, we're going to go a little smaller. So I'm going to go 1/4 inch because it's a note card. So I'm going to go to 3. Oh, this one's going to be, I'm going to go 4 1/2 by 3. Oop, by 3. And then that'll be on the inside. And then of this paper here, I'm going to take probably this side and do a 1/2 inch, not 3/4, because it's a little note card. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and then this is going to go by 3. Well, we'll just put it on and glue it. And then I have, this is a little too big. I'm going to make it smaller. Again, it's a note card, so I'm just going to take a little strip and do our inside of our card. And of course, you can always stamp in it too if you want. All right, so let's do this. And the links are all below. All right, so here we go. So now I have to think about which way I want up and down. So it doesn't matter right now. I'm just going to put this on here because I will be turning it around. So I have my sentiment that's going to go right about here. So I'm going to put it this way. Let's do our inside. And we have some more decorating to do on the front side. So now, if I do this, you're not going to get any of the crumb cake color. But if I do this, you're still going to get the pretty big flower and the crumb cake. So I'm going to do that. Oops. Hello. So go right about there. And then I'm going to use my liquid glue. Again, I have a long strip, so I'm just going to lay that on there and then just bend it right about there, just so I know where to put my glue. Right there. A little too much glue, and then we'll trim this. All right, so you could stamp on the inside, but since we stamped this, I thought that was pretty enough, and that still gives us a lot of writing area. And again, this card can be mailed. I pulled out the envelopes and the note cards here, and it's from the Craft Note Card and Envelopes. So you can get that and use it. All right, I love the silicone mat. You just lift up the glue that you have on there and you're good. And you notice you have a little more of a border because I kind of wanted to dress it up a little bit. And I don't think you need that big of a writing space on the inside. So let's go ahead and put the inside in. I love these craft cards. I'm surprised I don't use them more because I really like using craft. All right, we'll put this in. And we'll set that aside for right now. So now the next thing what I did is I'm going to take a piece of white. And we're going to take the Merry Christmas, also from the stamp set, right here. And we are going to stamp it in black. We're going to do a bit of stamping really quick. All right, so we're going to do this kind of right here. It needs to be big enough because we're going to use our die set here, the Nested Essentials, and we're going to use this one right here and die cut that. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we still need to do a little bit, oops, there's my needle from my glue that I lose all the time. We are going to stamp again one of everything. I should have done this when I had it out, but that's okay. Let's do this at the bottom. All right. Let's do our little leaves. We need 3, right, to go with our poinsettia. These are all fussy cut. There's no dies. Oops. Okay, let's see if I can do that again. Oh, what is the deal here? All right, let me get my mat. That's why you need your mat. Where did it go? I had no problem with the flower, but the leaves are not being... There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, they can be closed because I'm not die cutting. All right, the next thing is we want our old olive. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the dies. So we have the berries right here. You could die cut them 2 times, one with the red, one with the green, and layer those up. You've got little leaves and branches. I mean, there are things you can do that that are not fussy cut, but I wanted it to be the same as the paper. All right, we're going to stamp one of these. We'll just do this over here. All right. And the last thing we need, well, 2 things. One, we need the crumb cake heart. All right, so there's all of our pieces that we would need to fussy cut, but we also need the inside of our flower. And that's in black. All right, so the only other thing that I did do that I die cut is I use again the Nested Essentials, and I used the largest one here, and I used it on vellum. Okay. So I'll show you what I came up with. All right, so we would need to fussy cut those and use that one die for the sentiment. Let me move all this out of the way so I don't stick my arm in them. And here we go. Now, you're going to see some bedazzle there. And what I did with that is I pulled whatever I had on my desk. The one I did yesterday, which I'll show you, I had one of the daisy sprigs like this. Let me grab one. In the bedazzle. So I used it, but it kind of got covered up a lot. So I had one of these on my desk, and this one came from, I want to say Textured Floral, if I remember correctly. So I had one of these on my desk, which is going to be perfect. Okay, so here's our vellum piece. Here's our sentiment. And then here's all of our flowers that we just did. And then we have our gems, which are the sparkle gems. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our card. Because I want to layer it up. This is going to layer up a bit, and I don't want to have to try to put adhesive and squish the front of it. All right, so we're just going to put this right like this. I wanted the brown. I wanted more of the crumb cake to show so it can kind of tie in. The other thing, I'm going to add a bow. I'm going to add some twine. So let me show you what we're going to do. My first one, I added some ribbon in the back, but you don't really see it that well, so I skipped that this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our vellum, and we're going to put a line across the top. For now, that's all we're going to put. And we're going to put that right about here. Okay. And I'm going to do something a little different on this one than I did on mine. So I'll show you the differences when I'm done. So, oops. So let's add our dimensionals. I'm going to grab this one I just took the top off of. Right there. All right. Oops, that's not my card. All right, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to go right across the top, but I'm going to use my tweezers here so I can see it really well where I'm at. And I'm going to go just across the top. It does fit. I'm going to go down a little bit so you can see the vellum across the top. Okay, so it fits perfectly right across. Now you could do this horizontal if you wanted. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our color here. We're just going to put that in between and we're just going to lay that down there. It's just filler. So we're going to add this on there. Now this is different than what I did yesterday because this is a lot bigger. And you don't have to put it on all of them, but we're going to put this on here. And I want it to kind of go up and under, but remember there's a dimensional right there. So we're just going to go up just a little bit right there. All right. Now let's take our poinsettia. We're going to just add one dimensional right here. And I'm going to add this right about like that. Okay. Now on these, we're going to get the mini dimensionals. I'm glad you guys are liking it. All right, I feel like this is such a mess underneath me that it's hard for you guys to see. I'm just going to slide this in here. It's a little easier to see what I'm working on. All right. Now we're going to add our dimensionals here. We want a large one on the heart. And that one's going to be a little hard. You want the point down. And then you're going to cut the point at the top off. I should have done it before, but it's all right. All right, you don't want to see that part of the dimensional. There you go. And on these, we're going to put the little ones. So let's start with these. Hold 1 second. All right. So let's put mini dimensionals on here. All right, we're just going to add those one right here. I just turn it a little bit so it looks like you've got two coming out there. And then this one here, I'm going to put right under here and just have it kind of coming out the top. And I'm okay if they're kind of leaning up on, like if it's down here and leaning up on there, it's okay because it's flowers, right? And so they all are kind of a little on the, you know, flowers are just all clustered together, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to take a half of one and put right here on this one. All right, so let's put the red first because you want the red to go up and be you know, up here, if you put the green first, you want to make sure that they attach, even though they're going to be a little bit covered up. Thank you guys so much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. All right, so we're going to put this, and I'm just going to kind of, you know, make it close over here with our, I like everything to touch, like it's a bouquet, like it's supposed to all be together. All right, so now this one, I'm going to go under the poinsettia right here, but on top of this one. And then your red, you can bring up in front of your leaf right there so you can see your red. So see how it's just kind of clustered together? All right. The next thing I did, so you can see when I put the daisy one under here, this part, it was not, you could not see it very well. And so I just kind of wanted to, we're going to do the heart last. I just kind of wanted to put it there so I can see it. Then I took our new polka dotted ribbon, which is called Dotted Ribbon, I think. Red and gold. And then on the other side, it says Dotted Ribbon. So this is our new ribbon. So I just made a little bow. And then I'm going to take our linen thread and make a bow also. So see how it's curly and it's kind of unruly a little bit? Just take your bone folder and kind of smooth it out. It's easier to work with. I'm going to do a triple bow. If you guys haven't seen me do my bows, just look up bows under my videos and you'll find a video that shows you how I do it. All right, so there that is. So I moved my glue dots. I put them in a package that I'm going to work on tonight. So I have these other little ones I need to all right, so we're going to put a glue dots on the back of here. We're going to add our twine, kind of like we did when we did our other bow with the Lost Lagoon ribbon. We added the twine, so just kind of fluff it up a little bit. I'm going to add more a glue dot on the back in the middle, and that's just to hold it in place, but then I'm going to add glue on the sides of the glue dots because this is kind of a thicker bow, and I want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So see, you can still see some gold, but it's still kind of hidden. Now you could add some up at the top. I mean, you can, you know, put it anywhere you want. And so the glue dot is holding that. And see how I did the ribbon with the little, I want to say wings, but that's not it. The little banner cut at the end. I just like this to be cut just enough to be on the card and not hanging off. And now we're going to take our heart. Almost done. Thank you, Carol. Thanks, you guys. And then I'm just going to tuck the heart in. I don't want it to cover up the gold here. I'm just going to like kind of just put it in between everything right there, just so that it's, you know, it still ties in with the paper. And then we're going to take our pretty little sparkly gems. I think it's called adhesive backed sparkle gems. And we're going to, I'm going to just put one here, one up here, and then maybe one right here. So wherever you feel, well, that looks like it's in a row. I don't want that. That looks like it's right in a row. So take that off. And I'm going to put it right here. So there you go. So this was the original first one I did. So you can see that you still can see a little bit, and I pulled it down. Notice the one other thing that I did before, and I need to do it after this time, is I took some gold of our metallic enamel effects. Now this is a little tricky to play with if you're not used to this. Excuse me. you want to, I'm going to put this here in case I need to shake it. What I did is I'm going to take it and add it on here. Now I'm going to add it down here so it'll dry. Do the tiniest little dots because you do not need that much. When I first started, and that's why you wanted the little black dots. So you have that perfect little spacing. Now don't look at these, but see how I put them on there and it covers the black up, but I got a little heavy-handed at first and wasn't knowing what I was doing. This one, the vellum covers up part of it, so if I wanted to, I could take like my pokey tool and go under and just hold that up and do the rest of them. So I'm going to do the ones I can get to, but not all of them. And you just want to squeeze a little out and then pull up. And if I got brave, I could try to do those other ones, but I want to do the ones on my flower for sure. If you wanted to, you could do your paper ahead of time and then just let it dry. That's what I did yesterday. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to leave that in there so that dries, or try to. And then now that's going to dry, and then it's going to end up with that pretty gold enamel that kind of ties into your gold here. Now I know that this isn't gold. I used the bedazzle because I already had it and it was already cut. Now if I were to redo it, I should have pulled this out or whatever I was going to use and use the gold bedazzled. And it's not called bedazzled, it's called more dazzle. But it's the same thing, but they have gold now. So I should have used gold. In fact, here I have a piece right here. So I could have used this instead of the more champagne color. And that's what I should use because this is gold, this has gold, and these are more of a coppery kind of gold, but those were the gold ones and I wanted a lot of sparkle. So I would use the more dazzle for sure. And that's what I'll use on the rest of them. So here's the paper from yesterday. So it's the same thing, except I added my gold on there. But you can tell that some of them are a little blotchier than others. Like that one has like a big glob, but it's still very pretty. If it's not perfect, it's okay. So this is a really fun thing to do. Make your Christmas cards. I tied in the real red here because the bow is real red. This is cherry cobbler just because I wanted more dimension. And then I did the old olive and the mossy meadow because again, I wanted more greens, more layers of color there. Let me pull this down because this made a mess of my mat, but there you go. Now that's the other thing to think about too. If you wanted to cut your paper down first, you could do it and then you could do smaller pieces. Just make sure you do, stamp off the edges. The thing is then you could place your flowers, like this one turned out okay because I had 2 here, 1 there, and then I had this one here, but I colored it and I did the gold before I cut the paper, before I worked with the paper. But it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to, make sure that your poinsettias are just so you can add your gold on them. At least have 3 is a good idea, but you're going to have your 4th one of the one on the top, so that's okay. The other thing I would, like I said, use the background. I would have used the gold bedazzle instead, which I totally spaced and forgot about. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, then this one, I put the ribbon on the back and you can barely see it. I mean, it is another layer if you wanted to add that. I mean, for somebody like us that are crafters, we're definitely going to go, oh, they put ribbon in the back too. One other quick thing, see how this vellum comes up except right here where I glued that. So what you're going to want to do, don't use your, oops, I got to wipe my gold off of here. I just stuck it oh, it's because I took it from there. Oh, well, it's all right. So don't use glue dots. Take your dimensional and put it on your pokey tool or whatever you're using. I gotta put it down so I can pick it up. There we go. And then lift that up without sticking your finger in the gold. And then just stick it under there. And that just lifts up all those little pieces a little bit. Because this is lifted up already, it's kind of neat to lift this up and just stick that under there. Number one, it's going to hold your vellum down and all these pieces. Okay, so now look what I did to my gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my vellum. Let me move this one out of the way. Lift up my vellum, and I'm going to just kind of make a line and get rid of that. And kind of make a circle here. Just so it kind of looks like they're circle images. You don't have to. And then you can fix them later. So now I'm going to wipe this off and put that back in there. Or this. There we go. There. Yay. So once that dries off, then I'll add a little bit more. Yay. Let's see. Thank you, Virginia. Let's see. It will take me years as I am. Oh, Debbie, you know what? I've had a lot of practice. No mistakes in card making. That's right, Carol. Michelle, I'm glad you love it. Thanks, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Oh, thank you. So it's a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite things is to create my own DSP. But you really want to look at stuff like the textured floral is so pretty for flowers. This set is really fun because it's they're smaller images. So I really liked it on the smaller cards. So that was kind of fun. I put the vellum on there just to soften up that background. And so you can kind of see that that's my focal point there. And so you see the vellum and then you can see all of this pop up because otherwise I think it would kind of get lost in with the paper. And so you want to make sure that you, you know, kind of put a vellum or something, you know, soft behind there. Even if you wanted to do another piece of paper, but you want to be careful because you don't want to cover up your DSP. That's the whole point of making it all. Hi, Elfie. No problem. You can watch the remake. So I challenge you guys all to try and make some DSP, either floral or Christmas or whatever. It's so relaxing and it's so fun. And one of my favorite things to do is pull pieces out of what you stamped and put them on top and just kind of layer them up so you get that little extra, you know, pop of product there. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Ooh, right, Deborah? I cannot wait for Christmas. I cannot wait. So now I have all of these. I will probably add my gold on these tonight so that I can craft with these tomorrow. And so I can finish up making cards. So you can kind of notice on these, this one was from today. It's a little more spaced out. Whereas these were from yesterday and I did them a little closer together. So closer together, especially when they're smaller images and when you're going to cut them up is a really good idea. Oh, good, Betty. I'm glad. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys will give it a try. If you do, please post on my page. I'd love to see it. I'm going to post this tonight on my blog, or tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow. And you can also, you know, go comment there. If you have any questions, let me know. All the products will be there. Don't forget, below are the links to my classes, so you can join the bingo, the trucking along, and that should be available this week if you didn't get that. And also the Hey Chuck. The Hey Chuck class, the class is created and done. I just have to do my video and my PDF. We have until the 27th, and there are more available to purchase. I made extra. So if you would like to get those, my cutoff was yesterday. And so I made my number of what I was going to use, and that is how many kits I made. So if you want more, then you can check that out. Oh, Deborah, it all was the same stamp set. So get the ringed with nature, or the 3 hybrid, rings hybrid. It's ringed with nature is the stamp set, but it is a bundle. Well, it was a bundle last year, so make sure when you get this, you also get the hybrid set, because you get the embossing folder, which is right here, and you get the dies also. Okay, so you can get the whole thing. I'm doing this again. Oh, good, Marcia. I'm glad, because your paper was really pretty. Making your own DSP really makes your card completely unique, which is a lot of fun. And because I've had people are like, oh, where'd you get that DSP? Well, I made it. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it a lot. Thank you, everybody. All right, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you on Wednesday night. Bye, everybody.